I'm 36F, my husband is 37M. We've been married for 8 years and together for 14 years. We have a 5-year-old daughter. I also have a longtime friend, 37F, let's call her Mary, fake name. I met Mary as my husband's college friend, at a time when he was not yet my husband, of course, but over time she became more of my friend than his. She's not my best friend but we're in touch regularly, I would say we meet around once a month, we also call each other sometimes in between meetings. Mary has always had problems with relationships, and was single for a long time although she really wanted to find a partner and start a family. A few years ago she met a man with whom she fell very much in love, they quickly got married, and a few months ago he left her for another woman and they are currently divorcing. Because of this, Mary is going through a tough time right now, so I was trying to meet with her more often and support her, although I couldn't devote as much time to her as I'd like because I'm a mom, I have a demanding job, and on top of that my mother is having health problems. Around 2 months ago during one of our meetings Mary suddenly said that she has to tell me something she's been hiding from me for years. It turns out my husband cheated on me with a random acquaintance of theirs at a party 12 years ago. It was a drunken one-night stand and he immediately regretted it the next day, so Mary never told me because at that time she was more of his friend than mine and she didn't want to ruin her friend's relationship. I know it sounds weird but my first thought was why is she telling me this now? And I've asked her precisely this question. She said that because of her divorce she now has a harsher attitude towards infidelity. I said I understood, I thanked her for telling me, I assumed she did it out of concern or me as a friend, and I told her that I would talk to my husband. That same evening I spoke to my husband about it. He admitted that it was true. He said that it was the biggest and stupidest mistake of his life, and the next day after the party he wanted to confess to me, but he remembered that at the beginning of our relationship I had repeatedly said that if he ever cheated on me once without any feelings for the other person, I would rather he never told me about it and just never did it again. That's true, I said that. Of course, I didn't feel happy about the situation but not for a moment did I think that a one-night stand when we were both young and foolish outweighed everything we went through together and what my husband did for me over the next 12 years. The support and love he showed me when my father died in a tragic accident, when I battled breast cancer or when I lost my first long-awaited pregnancy. We talked all night and came out of the conversation even a little stronger than before and with no intent of breaking up. Since I know how strong Reddit's opinion on infidelity is, I make a disclaimer here, this post is not about my relationship with my husband, it is about my relationship with my friend. I'm not asking if I'm off forgiving my husband for his infidelity, that's my personal decision. What is important is what happened afterwards. Fast forward a month and a half, I didn't really think much about the whole situation because I'm the kind of person who focuses more on the future than on the distant past. Besides, I've had a hectic time at work. I realized that since the last time I spoke to Mary she hasn't spoken or written to me once, and it made me feel really bad and embarrassed that I haven't spoken to her myself when she's having such a hard time. I called her and apologized for the silence. I said I've been terribly busy, to which she said she understands. She's didn't bother me because she imagined I had lots to deal with in Riga. RDS to my divorce. I was puzzled and asked her what divorce? It turned out she was absolutely sure that I would divorce my husband immediately after I found out about his infidelity. When I told her that's not going to happen, she went into a rage and started yelling at me. I've never seen or heard her in such a state. She shouted that I have no respect for myself, that I don't respect her as a friend, that it cost her so much to tell me the truth and that I wasn't showing her any gratitude, and that by forgiving my husband I was spitting in her face and in the faces of all women who had been cheated on. I said that I didn't wish to be insulted over the phone and that we should talk it through in person, because there clearly was a problem. She agreed. We made an appointment, at which, after much hesitation, she said she had decided to tell me about my husband's infidelity because, quote verbatim, she couldn't stand seeing me so happy when her heart had just been broken and thought it was unfair that my husband and I formed such a seemingly perfect marriage when her marriage falls apart. It hurt me a lot. I myself never wished Mary anything but happiness, and I couldn't fathom how it was possible that she didn't have the same attitude toward me. I told her that I don't quite know how to be friends with her now and that I need a break in our friendship. I added that I know that what she did is the result of her suffering, so I will be ready to forgive her someday, but for now this is too fresh and I need to distance myself for a while. She was furious with me, said that it was unfair that I forgave my husband for his infidelity and not forgive her, that I was angry with the wrong person, and accused me of shooting the messenger. I said that I'm not angry at her because she told me about my husband's one-night stand but because of the reason why she told me, but I don't think she understood. I also said that I have forgiven my husband because his wrongdoing happened years ago and since then he has done a lot of good for me, while her wrongdoing is very fresh, and stressed that I will be ready to forgive her in some time. I left the meeting and immediately afterward felt remorse for leaving Mary, who had recently been hurt and abandoned, especially since she doesn't have many friends. I know that what she did was intended to hurt me, she admitted it herself, but it seems to me that it was not the result of cold calculation but of deep despair. Ada for breaking off our friendship? Update 1 Friendship with Mary is probably unsalvageable, certainly not right now. Maybe if she truly and honestly apologizes one day I'll be able to forgive her. Thank you for showing me that I don't owe her sympathy and that her being hurt is not an excuse for hurting me. I hope she'll go to therapy and sort out her issues but I'll stop treating them as my responsibility. As for my relationship with my husband, I'd planned not to address these comments at all, because it's really nobody's business but mine, but I'll just say that I still believe that sometimes the greatest punishment for infidelity is the loneliness of facing one's own guilt. Confessions often stem from selfish motives of depriving oneself of the burden of guilt and shifting it to the other person. Everyone may have a different approach to infidelity in a relationship. For me, a one-time physical betrayal is not a deal breaker, but many other things are. No, I don't think my husband is still cheating on me, as some people have suggested, and I don't need him to prove his innocence in any way. I believe that relationships are about risk and taking a leap of faith, not control and obsessive demand of total security. Besides, 12 years ago we were both different people and neither of us was perfect. I never cheated on him, but I behaved irresponsibly and selfishly many times. We have both matured together and have a lot of understanding for our past. Whatever it was, it made us who we are now.